Everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a 2-page layout using a number of different collections. I am going to be documenting a trip to Green Bay that the family took last year, almost a year ago now actually. The boys did a football camp, and so I am sticking with the green and yellow color scheme because it was a Packers football camp. And so I am going to border 3 sides of my layout. And so that's why I kind of gutted each of those green papers. And then I am cutting off 1/2 inch on one side and then 1/4 inch on another so that they are even all the way around. And then I will tape the white papers down. That is going to be my base for the layout. And because the dimensions are just so similar, I really had to be careful to make sure that I kind of placed the white paper the right way to have those margins equal all the way around. So for this, I am going to be using a yellow paper. I think it's actually from one of the Simple Stories Disney collections, but I have a bunch of this paper. And so I am going to bring that in. Here's that yellow paper. I just thought the yellow was kind of a perfect color, and I have a lot of it, so that was a plus as well. I believe I am doing, looks like maybe 6 inches for this one, and then this football Bella Boulevard collection has this grass paper that I thought was so cute, and that matched kind of that green color, that border, and I really liked the way that that looked. So I am going to kind of add, you know, the yellow to the top and then the green on the bottom. I think I brought them over 1 inch, and I am having them kind of hang off because I thought it would be easier to kind of just trim off the excess than to kind of measure the paper and make sure that, you know, my measurements were correct. You can see I'm fumbling with the taping of this paper for some reason. I don't know what the struggle was, but there was definitely a struggle there. And then I am going to just line the yellow up just so. And then what I will do is I will flip that over once I get page 2 done, and then trim it off that way. So I kind of, you know, wanted them to be the same level all the way across, if that makes sense. And so what I ended up doing was kind of basing it off of that first layout, or I guess page 2 that I did. You saw where I didn't cut it yet. I used that overhang to kind of line up my papers so that they were equal all the way across. I had, I think, just a little bit of this kind of football paper left over, so I decided that I would use that as well on this layout to bring in some of that brown. And then I did have some Packers papers. I believe that's from Scrapbook Customs, so I am going to end up using that. I dovetailed the 2 ends of that football paper, and then I'm going to just do a small strip of this Packers paper and kind of make sure that I have the Packers kind of even all the way across, if that makes sense. I didn't want to like cut the word in half, so they're not even, so to speak, where once I get this side done, you'll see, like, I don't know, one side has part of the other line above it and the other one doesn't, but I was more concerned about at least having the phrase Packers on there, and not just, like I said, having that cut in half. So I did dovetail that as well. And again, I am kind of doing the same thing here where I'm lining them up across the 2 pages, and then I will trim them kind of once I have them all taped down. So this video is kind of a longer one. I feel like, and I remember thinking this as I was doing this layout, like, wow, this base page is taking me a while to complete, but it's just because it has so many different layers here. So 4 different papers, and now that we have the base page complete, we can work on getting the photos on the layout. So this is going to have multiple photos on this 2-page layout. I'm really trying to kind of cut down on all of the layouts albums that I have, because I am actually kind of running out of room. So I did back all of the photos in white. I did not show you guys me backing them. I just, again, this layout took quite a while, and so I wanted to save some time so you guys weren't just watching me back the photos. But what I did is I ended up using the green that I had gutted from the border and backed that top photo on page 1 because it was on yellow. I thought if I did green that it would help it stand out. And then because the photo on the bottom is going to be mainly on green paper, I backed that in yellow. On page 2, I decided just to leave the white. And I didn't realize my photos were going to take up so much space on that bottom section. Well, actually the top 2. So, you know, the layout's kind of heavy on the right-hand side, but I do bring in, you know, some more embellishments on page 1 to kind of help even it out, I guess. I have the Star Shaker die from Close to My Heart, and so I did a white background and then cut out the top on that same green paper. And then I am using some thin foam tape I got off of Amazon, and I will end up using that and making sure that I add that all the way around. I am getting ahead of myself because I got ahead of myself while I did this as well. First, on the outside paper, I added acetate, and this is just a 6x6 paper pad, acetate pad, I guess, that I got at Michael's quite a while ago, and it's lasted me quite a while because I don't do these very often. So once I get the acetate tape down, I have to trim it so that, you know, the excess is off. I just happened to have a scrap piece that was the perfect size. But once I get the acetate, this is now when I add that foam tape. And one thing with the foam tape, you really want to make sure that you don't leave any space in between the tape. You just don't want any space where whatever you put in the shaker can escape from. So really make sure that it is kind of a tight, fit, I guess, with that tape there. But once I end up adding this, I am going to be using some shaker bits from Creek Bank Creations I got at the expo in Orlando last year. But if you watched my haul video from the Great Lakes Mega Meet, I actually got basketballs this year. So I love these. They are kind of like a clay football, but then there are kind of like some sequins or beads in there as well. It did come in a plastic container here. I decided to transfer it. I have these little jars. They're actually little jam jars we got in like a gift basket at Christmas. I had my husband clean them out because I thought they would be perfect for instances like this. And so that is probably how I'll store the other ones once I get into those as well. So now that I have all the shaker bits in there, I am carefully peeling off the backing of the tape. This a lot of times will frustrate me. A lot of times my finger gets stuck and some of the shaker bits will escape. So luckily this one, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, that is a little bit frustrating when that happens. And then I just taped on the white background that I had cut out already. So that is kind of hopefully a good description on how to do a shaker pocket. I needed kind of something for that shaker pocket to sit on though. I felt like it was just, I didn't want it to float, I guess. And so I went into my dies and found a tag. I actually think I got the tag set from Scrapbook.com when I did an order. I think it was actually a free set, and I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. I kept that green insert from the shaker star to use on the layout somewhere else. So here's where I bring in that tag. And I think I got that free from placing an order. But then I also have that large football on page 2 that I got that at Hobby Lobby. They have some like larger ephemera pieces. And so I ended up getting that from there, and it had all kinds of sports. There was baseball, soccer, and basketball. And so I'm gonna, end up using that. Even though the brown is off, it does bother me that the browns don't match. It's more of a redder brown. And so that is a little bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. Not that big of a deal. But I trimmed down that tag because I didn't want it overlapping the brown. I wanted some gap in between the two brown papers. And then I added some green twine to that tag, and really like how that almost anchors that shaker pocket there. I then have a embellishment pack. It started out as the Simple Stories, Simple Pages football ephemera pack. However, I had a 49 Market chipboard pack that had green and yellow pieces in there. And so when I was doing a previous Packers layout, I kind of separated all of those out and just added that to that ephemera pack. So the love, the amazing, those hearts, those are all from a 49 Market kind of outdoorsy collection. But again, I had already sorted them out and love how the colors match so well. So to fill in that space, I did add that love at the top and really like the way that that looks. That yardage strip down at the bottom, that came from the Simple Pages, Simple Stories ephemera pack. I really like how that looked, and you will see I am going to end up adding my journaling down there. And again, I just felt like adding that yardage almost finished that off nicely. It didn't really, I guess, look like my journaling was floating, so to speak. It just was a nice added touch, I felt like. And it was like the perfect length too. So now I am going to, I believe, get my journaling strips out from close to my heart and add those to the left. I did actually buy another pack of those from the close to my heart vendor at the Great Lakes Mega Meet, because I have been using them a lot more to kind of show you guys where my journaling is going to go on my layouts. And I guess I did get a little bit ahead of myself, but I did find a kind of sticker on that Bella Boulevard sticker sheet that says "Leave it on the field," and added that to the photo on the top of page 1. One thing I'm noticing when I cut these, I'm not cutting them super straight, the ends, which does bother me, but not enough. I don't know. If you have any other ideas, I really try to like cut straight, and for whatever reason, it is, I don't know, still ends up a little bit at an angle. So let me know if you have ideas. I could use my paper trimmer probably. That would work. Just kind of an extra little step, maybe. Maybe I'll have to take the time to do that. I did want to kind of spruce up the journaling a little bit as well. So I did find a heart that says football and then that green and white arrow. Thought about adding these puffy stickers that I got at Hobby Lobby quite a while ago, but just didn't love, again, the color or kind of where they would have been placed. And so instead I went back and grabbed my Bella Boulevard stars and decided to add those kind of throughout the clusters. I had that sticker, the "Leave it on the field" sticker, and it just felt kind of not out of place, but lonely up there. And so I added a couple of stars at the top there as well. And really, I think maybe one more heart. I kind of have a mixture of hearts and stars on this layout, which I don't usually love, but I feel like it does kind of work because I do have hearts and stars in almost every cluster. But that is going to finish off this layout. I will see if I can find the Bella Boulevard football collection, and if so, link that down below for you. But I hope you guys enjoyed this layout, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.